1.4b. We're going to be using the reciprocal today. It says to multiply each number by the reciprocal. 1.4b notes. What's the reciprocal of 1/3? Very good. We use it when we're dividing fractions. Okay, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of 3/1. What do you get when you get 1/3 times 3/1? You get 1 whole 1. In threes, I would divide 3 by 3 is 1. 3 by 3 is 1. I would get 1/1, which just equals 1 whole 1. So when I multiply a number to its reciprocal, I'm supposed to get 1. Do 5/7. Multiply 5/7 by its reciprocal. Notice if I just multiplied 5 times 7, I'd get 35/35, which equals 1. What's the reciprocal of -2/5? Let's try it. Multiply by 5/2. What do you get for an answer when you multiply by 5/2? Do we get 1? What do we get? We get -1. Remember, when you multiply by the reciprocal, you are supposed to get a 1. So what should I be multiplying by? The reciprocal of -2/5 is not just 5/2. What's the reciprocal of -2/5? -5/2. That's how I would get the +1. A negative times a negative is a positive. So this really would say 10/10 if I didn't cross cancel, which gives me 1. I can cross cancel, or I can multiply straight across. -2 times -5 is +10. 5 times 2 is 10. So you can do it either way. What's the reciprocal of 8? I'm supposed to flip it. Very good. If I make 8 a fraction, that means I can do times 1/8. All right, so today we're going to use the reciprocal to solve these equations. The goal is to get a variable by itself that has a 1 in front of it. I want to multiply 3/5 t by the reciprocal. What's the reciprocal of 3/5? So I'm going to multiply this side by 5/3. Is that how I solve equations? Is that it? Okay, but did I do this correctly when I multiplied the left side by 5/3? I do, but I want to make sure I follow through right now. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I got to do the same thing to the other side. Got to keep it balanced. It says it's equal. Now I'm looking to do what you were saying. Cancel my 5s, cancel my 3s, and that leaves a +1t. Now I need to do 6 times 5/3. It's not 6 and 5/3, a mixed number. It's 6 times 5/3. How do I start multiplying the fraction? Put a 1 under the 6. Now what? 1 and 5 don't have anything in common, but 3 and 6 have something in common. What do they have in common? The common factor is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And now I just multiply straight across. What do we get when we multiply straight across, James? We get 10/1, which just equals 10. You guys got much better at checking. What's the first rule of a check? Write down the original equation. Everybody's doing that step fine. What's the next step? Lorelai, what do you think? Very good. We know what t is, so we want to substitute in the t. So we have 3/5 times t equals 6, using parentheses to hold that multiplication. And t is not unknown anymore. If I did it right, I know what it is. It says t equals 10. And so we're simplifying, we're substituting in and simplifying one side. We're not doing anything to the other side because it's already simplified down. Make 10 a fraction. Look for that cross canceling. I see that 5 and 10 have a common factor. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And now I just multiply straight across. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. And 6 over 1 is just 6. One more, and then we can start the homework. What is the reciprocal of negative 2/7? Bree, what's the reciprocal of negative 2/7? Negative 7/2. Whatever I do to one side of the equation, I make sure I do the same thing to the other side. Multiplying by negative 7/2. I see a negative times a negative becomes positive. Just what I need, a positive 1. And then my 2's will cancel. My 7's will cancel. And that leaves just a positive x. You just need to do the math on the second side now. 8 times negative 7/2. Make 8 a fraction. Then I like to look at the signs. It's a habit for me because signs are always the very first thing in front of a term. What is a positive times a negative? So I'm going to put the negative in my answer. And then I'm going to look for that cross canceling. 1 and 7 only have a 1 in common, but 2 and 8 have a common factor. 2 divided by 2, 8 divided by 2, and then multiply straight across. 4 times negative 7 is a negative 28. Checking says write down the original. Write down the original equation. I think I know what x is, and I would like to check to see if that's true. So I need to substitute in what that x value is. We found that x equals negative 28. I'm going to check and see if that's true. All I have to do is simplify negative 2/7 times negative 28. And if I get an 8, then I know I did it correctly. A negative times a negative is a positive. So I'm going to put positive right on those so I don't have to think about those signs anymore. It's still multiplying. I make my 28 a fraction. And I look for any cross canceling. Do 7 and 28 have a common factor? What is it? 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 28 divided by 7 is that 4. And then multiply straight across. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. And again, most people would skip the 8 over 1 step and go right to 8 equals 8. All right, let's take a look at the homework. 1.4b.